We are in the heat of spooky season. Halloween is right around the corner, and that means there's going to be a lot of trick-or-treaters out. The goal of today is to find out the best Halloween candy. Which one you're reaching for first and which one belongs in the trash. Because let me tell you something, there's some trash candies out there, pun intended. So let's find out which ones they are. First up is Hershey's Cookies and Cream. You know, not a bad choice. I'm not going to reach for it over just the standard Hershey milk chocolate treat or dark chocolate, but it's not something I'm upset with, you know? So I feel like a B tier category is right where it belongs. That's a good home for it. Next up is just the classic Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I believe it's the true definition of a classic. It's going to be one of the first ones gone. I love it. I love them to death, and I'm sure that is a wide opinion. And before we go any further, remember, these are all just my opinions. Yours could be different, and that's okay. But also, I will be hurt by those opinions. And if you like the content, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more ridiculous takes. I've already made some enemies. Can't wait to make more. The next up is Kit Kat, and I really enjoy Kit Kat. I used to think they were really overrated, but the more I've aged, the more seasoned I've become, I've realized there's nothing quite like the break of a Kit Kat bar. It's going in A tier. The next up is a bit of a sleeper. The 100-gram bar is very good, but you just don't see it anywhere. It's just very rare. It's like pulling a Charizard out of a Pokemon pack. Let's be real. 100 grand isn't as good as a Charizard. You just never hear anyone saying like, I want a 100-grand bar. They just say, I want 100 grand. But when I do have these are pretty good, but they're still going to B tier. Next up, Reese's Pieces. They're not going to be first gone, but it's going to be kind of close. They're not as great as the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups themselves, but I still think they're very, very good. They're going in A tier. Next up are the Sweet Tarts. Let me tell you something. They're not good. They're not good at all. I'm at the age now where if I eat a bunch of Sweet Tarts, I'm gonna have to chase them with another candy called Tums. So if I'm gonna eat Sweet Tarts, I might as well just open up a bottle of Tums. They taste about the same, and I'm gonna feel better afterwards. However, I am still a barbarian, so they will be the last gone. I will still eat them because I can't learn from my mistakes. Three Musketeers, it is mid. Three mid-sketeers is what I'm talking about. It's so mid. Every time I have one, I am a little bit let down. It never lives up to my expectations, so it's gonna be last gone. Pixie Sticks. This is absolute trash. I don't know how this company got away with it. Just basically putting sugar in tubes and just like feeding it down our throats like a beer bong for kids. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. How is it legal? It's going straight in the trash in my house. Absolutely. Airheads. Airheads are different. You know, Airheads are pretty good. I enjoy a nice Airhead sometimes. The one knock I have against Airheads is that the mystery flavor, it just never changes. It never rotates. It's always the same flavor, which makes it become not a mystery flavor anymore. You know what you're gonna get, and sometimes I like surprises. It's gonna go B tier. I think this next one is Bit-O-Honey. Bit-O-Honey is terrible. It's bad. It's going straight to the trash. It's disgusting. The texture is off. It takes forever to chew. It's like you're eating a never-ending gobstopper from Willy Wonka, except they last longer than the everlasting gobstopper somehow by some form of Harry Potter magic, which makes it for a much more miserable experience for you. Whoever falls for it and tries it for the first time, I'm so sorry for your experience. If you need to talk, the comments are down below. Please share. Please share. We're all here for you. Straight to the trash. Straight to the trash. Next up is the Nestle Crunch Bar, and I really enjoy this candy. It's chocolatey. It's got a good crunch to it. I don't know if I can put it above Kit Kat, but it is definitely going into A tier. I have no idea what this next one is. They weren't in my neighborhood, and I had a big neighborhood, so if they weren't in my neighborhood growing up, you're probably not missing much. Next up is the Sour Patch Kids. Not a bad candy. Not a bad candy. When I was younger, I didn't really like the sour beginning to these types of candies, but the older I've gotten, the more I've kind of liked it. First they're sour, then they're sweet. I'm a big sweet guy. It's still not my favorite. I will put it in B tier, but it's gonna be at like the bottom end of B tier. Willy Wonka's Nerds. I don't know why I used to like these as a kid. I haven't had these in a long time. It's just weird to me. Like, I don't understand. I don't really get nerds. I'm a nerd myself, but these type of nerds are not for me. I'll still give them another shot. They're gonna go in the last gone tier though. They're still gonna go in my face. I'm gonna have to be in very desperate times to eat those. Good and Plenty, I've only had them a couple times, so I don't really remember what they taste like. So I don't feel comfortable ranking these without giving them a fair chance, so I'm just gonna put them in, I don't know. Twizzlers. The taste of actual Twizzlers are okay, but it takes so long to chew. It's like you're chewing gum basically. It takes that long. I'm not a big fan. I like the Twizzlers peel and pull more, even though you can't really find those anymore. I don't know if they stopped making those, but regular Twizzlers, I don't know. I think they're gonna be last gone. Not as bad as Bit-O-Honey or the Pixie Sticks, but let's be real, they're not that great. They're overrated. Dots. Dots are interesting. I actually enjoy myself a small box of dots. I make this running joke that this is Greg Maddox's favorite candy because all he does is dot the corners. So any baseball fans out there, you know what I'm talking about. I think they're gonna go in B tier. They're gonna surprise some people. Next up is M&Ms. I love me some M&Ms, and for some reason, the snack size M&Ms, the Halloween candy size, they always have a different taste than the M&Ms that come in the regular packet. I don't know what they do, but M&Ms taste better during spooky season. They're an A tier, absolutely. I will take them over Kit Kats. They're just good. They're not complex. They're simple, but that doesn't mean bad. Simple can be great sometimes. Gum? You're giving out gum for Halloween? Now I understand that these trick-or-treaters, they probably don't have the best breath. I get that. But let's go in a different direction than gum. It's supposed to be Halloween candy, and it's not. It's not going in the trash because I love some gum, but I'm definitely not eating it for Halloween. So I guess as default, it is gonna be the last gone. And who are you giving away gum? That's expensive. That's like a resource. If you're playing Sellers of Catan, it's like giving away all your wheat. Andy's mints. Yo, Andy's mints are like a delicacy. I don't even know where you can find them. In some fancy restaurants, they give these to you as like an after dinner mint. They're top tier. They are a status symbol. If you eat Andy's on the reg, you are special and you're built different. It belongs in First Gone. I'm absolutely putting them in First Gone. I love Andy's mints. I don't even like mint, and I love those. That's how you know it's good. Wonka, what is it? I don't even know what this is. What's Runts? Runts, these are actually straight to the trash. They're terrible. The texture, the taste, like they're hard as a rock. They're not Wonka's Runts, they're Wonka's rocks, not drugs. You eat these and you chew them right away, you're gonna have to go to the dentist or the orthodontist because you're gonna do some damage. So those candies should come with a disclaimer, a medical disclaimer. Consider this your medical disclaimer. Next up is Laffy Taffy. When I was a kid, Laffy Taffy was nothing to write home about. It was too sticky, it was very, very chewy, like too chewy in my opinion. It was hard to get the wrapper off even, but thanks to another rapper, we got a hit single that got stuck in all of our heads for years to come. And you know what I'm talking about. Laffy Taffy. So because of that song, it's going in B tier. Werther's Original Caramels. There's always something in these tier lists that are gonna cause me to make enemies, and I think it's this one. I don't like caramel. I said it, I don't like caramel. Caramel by itself, I don't like it. I would much rather throw these in the trash. And the only people that are carrying these Werther's Originals, they're like 75 plus. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit older, nothing wrong with that, but why choose these? I don't get it. Like there's so many other things you could choose. Like do they not melt in the pockets of their wool slacks? I don't get it. I don't get it. But thanks to them, Werther's Originals are still in business. They're going straight in the trash in my opinion. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. The trash is beginning to be a popular place. The next up is like just on that same level of Werther's Originals. The only people that carry these around are like elders, which again, elders, there's nothing wrong with being elder. I respect you. I love old people. I plan to be one someday. But let me tell you something, when I get to that status, I'm gonna step up the pocket candy game. Werther's, gone. These weird strawberry things, gone. Straight to the trash. I'm gonna pick something different. And when I do, the whole world is gonna change. And I'm gonna be the catalyst. As long as I can still say the word catalyst when I'm that age. There are no guarantees. Hershey Kiss is very basic, very classic, but I love them. You can grab a handful. They don't take up too much space in the candy bucket. Like nothing wrong with them. And that isn't even getting into the other flavors of Hershey Kisses that they've been doing, like, I don't know, over the past 10 years or so, 20 years maybe. They're so good. They're at least going into A tier. The next up is what I was talking about earlier in the beginning of this video. The plain Hershey bar is simple. It's delicious. I love it. What takes it down a little bit is that it melts just so easily. Same thing with the Hershey Kisses, I guess you can say, but it's still very good. It's going into A tier. Next up is the Mike and Ike. This used to be like one of my favorite things to get because you didn't see them very often. Like you didn't see them in gas stations very often. I think the one place I used to get them was the movie theater. I would still put Mike and Ike over in B tier. They're probably on the same level as Dots to me. I like them. Not bad. Snickers. If you get a full-size Snicker bar in Halloween in trick-or-treating, you are a set above the rest. And you giving those full-size Snicker bars away, props to you. Props to you. You are a legend. You the real MVP, and everyone appreciates you. First Gone, absolutely. People are going to be fighting in the streets over them. That's why I think they do trunk or treat now. Next up is the Almond Joy. And when I used to find these in my trick or treat bag, they didn't bring me so much joy. But nowadays, after I've retired from the trick or treat game, they bring me a lot of joy. I like the taste of them, and I think they're a little bit slept on. Don't be sleeping on these Almond Joys anymore. They're B tier. They're up there. Baby Ruth is something I don't necessarily crave, but it's decent. You know what you're getting. Chocolate, peanuts, named after a baseball player. Need I say more? They're A tier. They are A tier, absolutely. Caramel apple pops. Now, if you've been paying attention, you know I don't like caramel. Not a big fan of lollipop either. So I think you got a fair idea where these are going. These are going straight to the trash. Absolutely straight to the trash. Like, if I don't like something, if I don't like the flavor of something, it's even worse as a lollipop. You know why? Because it lasts so long, making the whole experience miserable. The longer they survive in this environment, which is my mouth, the worse time I have. Next up, I don't even know what these are. What are these? I can't tell what these are, so I don't know. I don't know what these are. Never had them. I don't plan on trying. Next up is Mr. Goodbar, and I think when I was a kid, I used to shy away from these because the wrapper was yellow, and I always associated yellow with mustard, and I hate mustard. I know that's a stupid reason. I was a stupid kid, as are most of us. But now that I've recovered from my yellow wrapper phobia, I opened the Mr. Goodbar wrapper, and I was met with Mr. Goodness. It was delicious, actually. I used to not be that big of a fan of nuts and bars. What? But this is actually really, really good. It's going in A tier. Next up is another gum, Double Bubble. It does not belong in Trick or Treat. It belongs in a dugout for baseball players. We talked about gum already, except this is even worse because it doesn't even leave your mouth feeling fresh, and it doesn't even give you really good breath. It's going straight to the trash. Next up, we got some Swedish Fish. I didn't really have these when I was growing up, but I tried them not too long ago, and they're actually really, really good. At least a lot better than expectations. I didn't think they would be good. Just looking at the wrapper and the name Swedish Fish, it didn't really scream to me that it was a delicious candy. They're going in B tier. The way I was talking about them right there might have made it seem like I was going to put them as first gone. Don't get me wrong. They're solid. They just surpassed my expectations. I thought it was going to be trash when I first tried them, but they're a nice little surprise. Next up are the Blow Pops. I still don't really understand our society's fascination with lollipops. I don't really get it. They've lost their appeal to me. And then you get like the double bubble gum inside that same lollipop. So it's going to go into last gone. Next up are the Fireballs. For me, absolutely not. Terrible. An absolutely terrible candy to have at Halloween. It's an absolute miserable experience. I never want to see these Fireballs again. Never have I craved Fireballs. If you crave a Fireball and you enjoy it, hats off to you. Really, I can't do it. I don't get the appeal. I would still take the misery over these Werther's Originals. I would for some reason. I don't know why. Next up are these like fake Tootsie Rolls. These different flavored Tootsie Rolls. They don't do any of the flavors well. If you want a Tootsie Roll, go get the regular one. I got fooled by these so much as a kid, especially the vanilla ones. I thought they were going to be so much better. My favorite color as a kid was blue, and I loved vanilla, and it fooled me every single time. Thought it was going to be delicious, and it was terrible. These are going straight to the trash. Next up is Fun Dip, and surprisingly, I enjoyed this as a child. I don't know why, but being able to dip that stick in different flavors, it was exciting. What really made it good was that the actual stick was the best part. I don't know why, but it had this flavor that was delicious. I wish they just sold the sticks. Why didn't they ever do that? They would have made a lot of money off me. If you're the CEO of Fun Dip and you're listening, you could still make money off of me. Do it. Do it. They're going in B tier. Not bad. Next up is a Tootsie Roll Pop, and I know I talk smack about the Blow Pops, but this is different because the lollipop is candy and what's inside is also candy. So that means it's a big step above Blow Pops. However, it's still a lollipop, and it's always gonna be second tier to just other forms of candy. Fruit Roll-Ups. This is not a Halloween candy. I don't know why. This is more of like an after-school snack if you're in elementary school or middle school. Not saying it's a good snack. It's definitely not the ideal nutritional snack. I just don't think these belong in Halloween. It's kind of a mixed bag for me. I'm probably gonna put them in B tier. Next up, the Fruit Gushers. When it comes to Gushers, it's pretty much the same story as the Fruit Roll-Ups, except they have the different texture like inside. That fruity syrup in the middle is just really delicious, and I always considered it an interesting day when I got to have Fruit Gushers. However, they still are not like a Halloween candy in my eye, but it's still gonna go in B tier. I'm actually gonna put these like ahead of Dots. Haribo Gummy Bears. Like, there's just something simple about them. They taste good. They're not super tough to chew. I like them. They're a nice change of pace from the other Halloween candies, just to switch it up. Consider it a palate cleanser, actually. It's going in A tier. Next up is another Werther's Original. I think they just put these down here to torture me. So you know what I'm gonna do to Werther's Original? I'm gonna put it at the bottom of trash tier, and I'm gonna take the other one. It's gonna go at the bottom of trash tier too. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. The Heath Bar. You know, I think I've had this once or twice a really long time ago. It was actually pretty good, but I haven't had them enough to really have a strong opinion of them. So it doesn't really ring a distinct bell in my head. So it's gonna go into the I don't know. Butterfinger bars. Butterfinger bars are pretty good. I don't think they're as good as Snickers or Baby Ruth's, but they're pretty solid. And plus, if you get that full-size Butterfinger at Halloween, anything full-size, it's just a solid surprise. Butterfinger's going in A tier. Hot tamales. Same thing with Fireball, except now they've multiplied. Therefore, their surface area is better, and it makes for a worse experience. It's like two Fireballs came together. They loved each other so much, and they had a bunch of hot tamales. Except it's not like the traditional 1 or 2 kids. It's like a litter of them. It's like a family of rats, not the cute Ratatouille rats in Disney. I'm talking New York City rats. That's what the hot tamales are. Absolutely going right next to their parents, right in the trash. Lemon heads are something that I actually enjoy. It was one of the only like sour starting candies that I really liked. I'd still reach for a lemon head today. They're going in B tier. Now the Tootsie Roll, the actual real Tootsie Roll, very decent, although I'm not like super stoked about them. I just think I've had them too much. They're not amazing, but they're solid. solid. I'm not mad about it. It's gonna go into B tier as well. Jolly Ranchers, you don't think they're gonna be good, but then they end up being super addicting. I don't know how they do it. They found a certain formula. It's not that I even enjoy my experience with Jolly Ranchers, but if I have Jolly Ranchers within an arm length of my face, it's gonna happen. Like, I can't stop it. It's just reflex. I don't know how they do it. It's going into A tier. Next up is the Junior Mints, and every time I see Junior Mint, I think of Seinfeld. Y'all probably understand why. Junior Mints are very good. I haven't had a Junior Mint in forever, but man, they're delicious. I dig them. They're going in A tier. Next up are the Ring Pops. I know I've talked smack about lollipops, and these are kind of like lollipops, but these were different. Especially like watching Nickelodeon as a kid, seeing all those commercials or advertisements for Ring Pops, it just made you feel special when you finally got one. It was just so cool as a kid. I don't know how to describe it. In reality, it's not that much different from a lollipop, but it feels different. It's going into first gone. You find one of those in your trick-or-treat bags, you might as well pop that on one of your fingers, go to town on that Ring Pop while you're using your other hand to sift through what's left of your candy. It's a win-win. Paydays are very interesting. The outside is covered in peanuts, right? It's like a reverse candy bar. I respect them for trying something different. It's going in A tier for sure. Absolutely. A Toblerone. Where are you going trick-or-treating to get Toblerones in your trick-or-treat bucket or bag? Because that's where I should have been going. I feel like eating Toblerone already makes you more mature and elegant somehow. It's an expensive candy. It's like top shelf. It's like a top shelf candy. So props to you. You find one of these, you're going ham on it. It's first gone. Let's give another little round of applause to the people giving out Toblerone bars for trick-or-treat. You're different. Very different in the best way. Peanut M&Ms. Very, very good. I used to not like these as much as regular M&Ms, and I don't know why. I got to a certain point where I started liking these more than regular M&Ms. Never thought it would happen. These are going first gone. Mama bars, I don't know what these are. No idea what these are. If you've had these before, let me know what they're like in the comments. And that goes for any of these, especially this one. I have no idea what this one is. If you know what that one is, let me know what it's like in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Milk Duds are up next. I don't know how these got popular, but that's exactly what they are. They're a dud. They're terrible, and I'd fall for it every time, so call me a dud. They clumped together. They stuck together. It took way too long to eat them, and by the time you're done with them, they're so stuck to your teeth that you're gonna need a pressure washer to get all the residue off of your teeth. It's gonna take weeks, borderline months if you don't. They're going to the trash. Absolutely going to the trash. Next up is the Milky Way bar. I love astronomy, and therefore I'm a little bit disappointed because I thought the Milky Way bar was gonna be a lot better than what it actually was. Maybe I gotta give them another chance, but right now they're going in B tier. The next thing I don't think I've seen before. They look like Starburst, but I'm not gonna assume they are. So I don't know what they are. Let me know. Let me know what these are. An apple for trick-or-treat. Really. I heard stories about getting apples in your trick-or-treat bag. I don't think that ever happened to me. Thankfully, it is advertised as like a candy holiday. I'm supposed to be eating unhealthy. I can spend all the other days that aren't holidays eating healthy. And I think it says something about the household that's giving you apples for Halloween. I could be wrong, but it's like, hey, here's an apple. You're gonna feel good after this. Hey, I'm not here to feel good. I'm here to be in a coma by 9 p.m. so I can wake up for school tomorrow feeling terrible. Not only do I not want an apple, but an apple takes up a bunch of space in your trick-or-treat bucket, especially if you have a smaller one. So they're not going to go straight to the trash because apples deserve better than that, but they are absolutely going to be the last gone. In fact, they're not going to be gone at all. We're going to put these on the kitchen counter and I'm going to forget about them in 2 days and they're going to go bad before I get a chance to eat them. That's what they deserve. Raisinets. I know y'all don't know much about me by now, but I really don't like actual fruit in candy or in a dessert. So therefore, disguising the fruit as candy, putting chocolate all over it, I don't like to merge those two worlds. These Raisinets are going straight to the trash. I'll eat raisins, but by themselves. If I'm gonna eat chocolate, I don't want that chocolate tarnished with the taste and the texture of raisins. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I've already made enemies. Okay, the only people allowed to give toothbrushes away at Halloween are dentists. That's the only people. If you're giving away toothbrushes and you're not a dentist, you are pretentious. Here, have a toothbrush, you heathens. Like, yo, I have a toothbrush at home. I have a perfectly capable toothbrush at home. In fact, I have that toothbrush I just got from my dentist 6 months ago. It's still in the package, so I can have that. Are you telling me I'm unclean? Are you telling me I don't brush my teeth? Because that's what you're telling me. Acting all holier than thou. If you're gonna give me a toothbrush, just give me toothpaste instead, because that's actually worth something. That's actually expensive. Give me that instead. If you're not a dentist and you're giving away toothbrushes, you should look in the mirror and think about what you're doing. Now, if you're giving away toothbrushes with with candy, that's a different story. So this is going straight to the trash. Very, very upsetting. It's very upsetting. Skittles, I don't really need to cover this that much. Skittles are S tier. I think it's pretty obvious they're S tier. There's like my favorite candy that's not chocolate. It is delicious. There's nothing bad about Skittles. I don't even need the other flavor of Skittles. These are just so good. They've been so good for so long. They have never even needed to change anything. They're just delicious. End of story. End of story. What? These are Smarties. Despite their texture, they're actually pretty good. These are like the only candy with this type of texture that I thoroughly enjoy. Like if I saw them at a gas station, I probably would get them. They're just delicious. They're easy to eat. They're not complicated. They're an A tier. Fight me. Starbursts are delicious. I love Starburst. Absolute S tier. Absolutely first gone. Especially if you're getting like the full bar of Starburst candies. They're so good. You really can't beat them. Absolutely going to be the first gone. Sugar Daddies. I've never had these, but they look horrible. I think they're probably on that same level of Bit-O Honey. But we're going to give them due process. Man, I don't know. I don't know what these are. I know what these are though. They're trash. They're the definition of trash. I don't know why I lied to myself when I was younger and told myself that these were good. They're not. They're terrible. Do better. Do better. Until we have eliminated candy corn from the face of the earth, we will not progress as a society. If we didn't have candy corn right now, we'd already have civilizations on the moon and possibly Mars. So think about that the next time you eat some candy corn. We could be living on the moon right now. Twix bars, so simple. I know I said I didn't like caramel, but the caramel is like used perfectly here. It's in the right proportions. The crunch of these Twix bars are so good. The wafer, the amount of chocolate covering it, it's built in the proper proportions. Any other candy that uses caramel for that matter should look up to Twix, find out what they're doing and replicate. Absolutely going in first gone for sure. Warheads, extremely sour. The best thing you can do with these candies when you get them, if you don't like them, is to hold on to them, take them to school the next day and use them as trades. I don't know what it is about them that people love. I don't know. I think it was LA Beast that ate like 100 of them and he had to go to the hospital because of like the acid melting like the layer of his tongue or something like that. I've had one or two and it's an awful experience. Why do we do this to ourselves? Straight to the trash. Absolutely straight to the trash. And by the way, I think I've kind of lost the rankings within the tiers. I try my best, but it just got so difficult. So I'm just going to put these all on a level playing field within the tiers. Whoppers are actually solid. I like Whoppers. Speaking of which, I'm a little hungry right now and it makes me want a Whopper from Burger King, but that could be an idea for a different video. But Whoppers are good. I like the texture for whatever reason. They taste good. They're simple. There's nothing bad about them. And you get like the perfect amount. Those little small packages with like 3 Whoppers in them. So good. So solid. I love those. York peppermint patties. I'm not going to put these on the same level as Junior Mints, but they do taste pretty good and they leave your mouth feeling fresh afterwards. I still think I put them in A tier, but I just think I do like Junior Mints better. And that brings us to the last candy we're ranking, the Zero Bar. I didn't even have one of these until I was in my 20s, I don't think. I never wanted them. They just never looked appealing to me. I think the wrapper made it look like they were minty or something. They strangely look similar to the York peppermint patty wrapping, or at least the same colors. So I never got one. And then for some reason, one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. I think I actually read the description and there was no mint in it anywhere. So I was like, let me try this. And it was actually really, really good. And I haven't had one since. So it's going to go in B tier. B tier solid. I like it a lot. Anyway, that's my rating of Halloween candy. So I know there's probably some hot takes in here. Probably made some enemies. Let me know in the comments where I was wrong, what you like better, where you would rank some of these. And I'm sorry to all the people giving away toothbrushes catching strays. I know you're just looking out for our best interest and thank you for doing that. And let me know what some of these candies are that I don't really know anything about. I'd love to hear it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like the content, and subscribe if you keep wanting to see these videos. You won't miss another one, and we can argue about my text in the comments respectfully. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.